up, folks? Sean the Average Angler coming at you with another great video, and we're going to touch on something today that may get overlooked quite a bit, I'm thinking. But anyway, we're going to go over it, kind of straighten it out for everybody, see if we can help you dial in your gear, because it's important. If you're new to the channel, you like this kind of content, hit that subscribe button down there, join the community, make the average angler a happy guy this Saturday afternoon. And we are talking reels, casting reels, all kinds of casting reels, right? We are talking dialing in our gear. And I'm going to tell you what I have each of these for. We'll start off by covering the necessity. If you only have a couple reels and you don't have a whole slew of stuff where you're specializing, then you probably just need something like this Tutula. This one happens to be an SV 103. It'll do pretty much most of what you need it to do and do it very, very well. Okay, the SV is a great reel. It helps eliminate backlash, and you can still backlash, folks. I don't know of anything that's backlash proof. This gets pretty darn close, and it's a phenomenal reel. It will last a lifetime. I've got several generations sitting in front of me to go over for different reasons. Okay, so that I wanted to say, if you only have a couple casting reels and you need something, it could be a Shimano, it could be a dial. Well, look, I've got both sitting in front of me. I fish both. I like both. I just use them for different things. All right, so the Daiwa Tutula is my choice for a 1 or 2 reel guy. Now, if we start getting into specializing, meaning, hey, maybe we've got a finesse casting rod and we're only going to have 10 pound and under on it, then this is a great choice right here. I actually took it off, but I'm going to tell you why. It really had nothing to do with the performance of the reel. This is an SLX DC, okay? And I bought this for a finesse casting rod. Now, I really like the reel. The problem is it's right-handed, and I am right-handed, but I switched to lefties a long time ago, and it's bugging me to fish bottom contact baits on that right-handed reel. So outside of that, I wouldn't be changing. I actually swapped it with a Shimano Scorpion DC. Same gear ratio, 7.2. I think the other one's 7.4. Different models come in slightly different gear ratios. Overall, they're generally the same. But I like the 70 size, whether you're talking about a Tutula, which might be an 80 size, I'm not sure, or a Shimano. It just, you're not wasting as much line, okay? You don't need to fit 160 yards of 10 pound test on a reel. I generally am looking for that 90 to 100 yard range when I buy a reel, okay? That's kind of the general concept of what I look for as far as choosing sizing. Let's get into a little bit of a specialty reel, although it doesn't have to be. I mean, you could use this. It's a Scorpion MD Shimano 201, okay? 200 if you're right, 201 if you're left. Fantastic reel, but this MD is a beefed up drive for throwing heavier baits. So I use these a lot for my glide baits, swim baits, that kind of thing, where I'm throwing heavier baits. The old days of the round reel are kind of fading away. This reel does it for me. So a 200 size reel will generally fit the bill for those glide baits and bigger swim baits. This thing casts phenomenal, very controlled. I like it a lot. I've got 4 or 5 of these. Once I found them and tried them, I bought a bunch more. This one has yet to be spooled up. So I guess I need to get a rod. Moving on from there, we already went over an SV 6.2. So this one is a Tutula CT63. You'll notice it's a righty, okay? I don't mind fishing reaction baits on a right-hand reel. This is a great reel. It is the CT. Okay, it looks very, very similar to the SV. Okay, the frame, all that I believe is the same. It's just going to be internals, that kind of thing, braking system and bearings that are probably different. Both have the T-wing up front, as you'll see there. Both are 100 size reels. Something about the CT I really like for my reaction baits. So things like square billing, chatterbait, spinnerbait, those kinds of things where I want to maintain speed without getting too far ahead of myself. I've found that these CTs work great for me. They're less money, they perform exceptionally well, and that's just where I'm at with that, okay? Again, I'm buying reels for different techniques, so that's what we're talking about, is those of us that have an abundance of gear. All right, next, let's talk about gear ratio a little bit, because this is another Tutula. This one just happens to be a limited edition that has more to do with the coloring and the pattern on it, but 8.1 to 1. So this is a high speed reel. I use this for, this one in particular is a flipping reel. Okay, flipping, pitching, that kind of stuff, where I want to pitch the bait out there and I want to get it back in fast. Okay, it can be used for frogging, can be used for buzz bait and whopper ploppers, those kinds of things where you're keeping a bait on top and you want to keep it moving. I like to use the high-speed reel for that kind of stuff, to get that bait back in and make another cast. You can always slow down when you're working the bait. You can't make up for that high speed when you're trying to get it out and make another cast. So I like a high speed reel for those types of things. Okay, not a rocket. I don't need to go 8.1 to 1. It's pretty darn fast. You can reel up a whole lot of line really quick, especially since I'm using this for pretty much short line presentations. Even frogging might be a long cast and I'm only working the bait for a certain distance. So once I reach that spot where I've worked the bait and I'm content, I want to reel it up and make another cast. That's where the high speed comes in really well. Now the other thing is, when you're flipping and pitching and that fish picks it up and starts coming at you, that's a great time to have a high speed reel. Okay, I also like the 8 to 1 when I'm fishing a swing head. This little beast right here, okay, you'll see it. There's a lead head up front, swing head hook on the back. I don't know what it is about that technique, but boy, let me tell you, the fish like to eat it and then come at you. So you need to reel down on them, get your rod started loaded before you can set. If you just swing, you're liable to not get a hook in them feel you swing, and then them spit it. Or maybe you don't find out until they jump and they spit that thing back at you and say, "Have a nice day, mister." All right. Anyway, got to have a little fun with it too, right, guys? Now, this reel has braid on it, okay? Don't judge me, because I'm going to tell you something completely different than what you would use braid for. I used to really like my Tutula 200s for frogging. I've since changed to a 100 because quite honestly, I don't need that much line on it, and you get plenty of braid on any model, to be honest with you. I really like the 200 because you get a not just deeper spool, but it's a wider spool. This, for me, is a great cranking rod, okay? Deep cranking, not square billing, okay? I use the slower speed for that. This is a great reel in that 7.3 to 1, 200 size spool, so we got a wide spool for my deep crankbaits. Okay, it allows you to cast a country mile because it's a wider spool. For the same distance, you're not getting as deep into spool, so you're maintaining gear ratio. Okay, very important when you're deep cranking. If you're spooling yourself, the gear ratio is changing as you fill that spool. So just something to keep in mind. I really like these Tutulas, and this one is no longer made. Quite honestly, I think it's better than the newer ones. That's just me. The newer ones of equal model, okay? This is just a regular Tutula 200, 7.3 to 1, all right? Phenomenal reel. Love them for cranking deep diving plugs, okay? Or, for that matter, anything else I'm going to be making a really long cast on. These hold the line that you need for it, all right? So, now let's talk about DC, SV, that kind of thing, because I think it's important, and there really is a place to fish those. I like to use them, well, first of all, if you can afford the SVs and you just outfit yourself with all SVs, more power to you. But I like to outfit myself with those in particular for baits that I'm fishing that tend to what I call catch wind, okay? So they're baits that when you're throwing them into the wind, they tend to grab wind and your reel blows up. Spinner baits, buzz baits are two that come to mind, okay? Two great baits that because they have things hanging off of them that catch wind can cause us to blow up a reel. So for those applications, I prefer either the Tutula SV or a Shimano DC of your choice. I don't really care which one. Look, folks, it's technology that helps us maximize our efficiency. Can't beat it, right? Look, I've been fishing a long time, 50 plus years. And the evolution of tackle, whether it's terminal, line, reels, rods, has just changed immensely. And it really affords us a lot of advantages nowadays that we didn't have back then. Why not take advantage of it? I'm not suggesting you go out and buy all new gear and replace everything. I buy some things every year because I'm a freaking tackle nut and I don't know how not to. Okay, if Blondie walked out here right now, she'd tell you I'm an idiot. That's what my wife thinks, I'm an idiot, which I probably am. But I enjoy it. I like doing this stuff. It's a lot of fun. I like doing the videos. So why not maximize my experience by updating stuff, right? Getting buying the products for what you want to use them for. Now, if you've got 20 rod and reel setups, this is great for you. This is the guy I'm talking to. If you've got 2 casting rods and 1 spinning rod, then you're that 7.3 to 1 guy that you're just going to have to change up and mess around with stuff. Doesn't mean you're not going to catch fish. You absolutely are. I hope you catch the addiction the way I did because it's a lot of fun. It's expensive, costs you money, but it's a lot of fun. All right, I'm Sean, the Average Angler. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great weekend. We'll see you on the next one.